Hi and welcome along to the very first Full Toss podcast. My name's Jim Law.
My name's Lee Dixon.
And we're together going to bring you some regular bulletins, hopefully, if they're well received, about what's going on locally in the cricket world, what's going on at Chester, how things are happening, because of course it's a fairly difficult time for all of us just at the moment. All in lockdown, no cricket when we should be having cricket. It's the time of year when we really should be getting excited about playing, but nothing going on just at the minute. So, for the next few minutes or so, Lee and I are going to chew the fat, really, talking about local bits and pieces, what's going on at our club at Chester Bolton Hall. Lee's got an insight into how things are looking for a player. It's a long old winter for a player, and of course now's the time that they should be looking forward to playing for the first time. Plus, something about a good friend of ours who passed away very recently, a chap by the name of Danny Woods. Lee will talk about an event happening next weekend there. And of course, where we stand, what's happening at Chester, and anything else we might fall upon over the next few minutes or so. So, overall, of course, things aren't particularly great for us at the moment. We know that recreational cricket is on hold. It is on hold technically until May the 28th at the moment. Certainly the national side of cricket is. The roll-on effect for us is it's at least that, probably more. And I think talking to most people, the consensus seems to be that cricket ain't going to be played for some time yet. That brings a whole host of problems for your average cricket club. I don't think Chester's an average cricket club, but certainly we have a ruck of problems mounting up because, of course, finance is a big issue. We've got a great facility here, both for Chester Nomads and for Chester Bolton Hall Cricket Club. That facility needs to be looked after. It needs financing. There's machinery that's used. There's employees, of course, that help. There's membership fees that come in. We have sponsorship usually coming in from some great supporters as well. That's all on hold. So it's tough. We've got a few things which you've probably been involved in or seen on the website that are trying to get some financing for us. But overall, it's a tough old time for us at the moment. So any help is, of course, gratefully received. What we'll do, of course, is we'll keep you up to date with any events as they happen on the website. We'll keep you posted through Facebook and through Twitter as well. We're trying constantly to keep you involved, to keep the community spirit going. And, of course, we're hoping to get some sorts of finance in as well. All right, Lee. One big thing that's happening in the next week or so is about a dear old chum of ours.
Yeah, obviously it's been pretty well publicised, but sadly last month we lost a real dear friend of mine and of Chester, Danny Woods, ex-Cheshire captain, legend of York cricket, lost his battle with cancer. And to be fair, honestly, Jim, it really did hit the cricketing community hard. I think if anyone saw it on social media, I don't think there's really there was such an outpour of emotion and respect for one of Cheshire's finest.
He was, wasn't he? And he also had there's a big heart for him here around Chester, and then did the whole Hyde team from going back, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, that was the thing, is that, you know, what Danny did was he moved up to York and was playing there, but one of the rules within Cheshire County Cricket Club was that you could only have 2 players from outside the county. And even though Danny being homegrown, that was fine for him. When he wanted to be captain, really, they wanted the captain to be from inside the county. And, you know, Danny took it upon himself to leave the club he loved, which was York Cricket Club. And what a fantastic club that is. We went up there in pre-season last year. It is a very, very impressive setup, which he put his heart and soul into. And he went back to Hyde, a club which he played at for a couple of years in his early 20s, to make himself available to be captain of Cheshire. Obviously, he made a huge impact at Hyde, you know, as a top performer. And it's something here at Chester as well, that rivalry with Hyde. It's almost like a derby, Jim, even though it's probably the longest away trip. You know, it got called El Clasico for a while. You know, your James Duffys, your Danny Berrys, your Jason Whittakers. You know, it really was a high level of cricket, and people love playing in that game.
And of course, Danny is the very reason why you're looking so trim as you are these days, Lee.
Yeah, well, we sat there going back in December of 2019 last year. And we were just thinking of ways that Danny was, you know, very, very switched on to wanting to raise money for cancer research, the the support of hospices, and at the time he was getting a lot of support from Macmillan Cancer nurses. And I said to him, I'll be honest with you, I live a long way away. I was lucky enough through work to be able to get up there maybe every 7 to 10 days to spend a day with him, which was fantastic. Felt very lucky to do that. But we wanted to raise some money, and I said to him, I should have run a marathon. And let's be honest, at 20 stone, a marathon just wasn't really what I was cut out to do. But us being daft, we sat there in the front room, and we ended up coming up with this 5K a day challenge. I'll be honest with you, at the time, I didn't think 5K was that far, but I didn't do any training at all till the 28th of December. So, yeah, that's part of the challenge, really. And we're on a day 103 as we sit here now, and there's plenty more to go.
God, and that is some achievement, I'll tell you. And what do we do, Lee, if we want to put some money to that fantastic cause?
Well, I think for me, Jim, is that obviously you'll see on my Twitter and through the club's Twitter as well that it's well documented that there are links there to the Just Giving page. But on this particular occasion, I kind of want to push people to the run that's going on next Saturday. Yep. Which is the Run for Dan, hashtag Run for Dan, or if you go onto the Facebook page, it's Run for Dan as well, which has been put together by Heather, his wife, and the proceeds of that go into Magnolia House. Now, Dan did his chemotherapy and a lot of his treatment at Magnolia House. They were absolutely superb with him, and especially in the latter months, they really did do a sterling job with Dan and supporting his family. So the idea is that obviously in this time at the moment with COVID-19 meaning we can't get together, we're going to do a virtual run. So a lot of virtual events going on at the moment. We had a fantastic sweepstake at the club the other week where we took part in virtual horses. Well, this is a virtual run where run, walk, skip, cycle, whatever it needs to be. All we want is people to get out, be active, do the 5K. If you can document it, use your Stravas or your step counters, or it doesn't really matter. You could draw them out with a crayon if you wanted to. And then, there's a link on there to Magnolia House. What I'd say to the cricketers out there, this would be our first game of the season. This has been put together for a reason. Dan's favourite day. Everyone's, as a cricketer, that is your Christmas day. That is the best day of the year. We used to talk to each other every time on the phone. On the way to which ground, have you got any new boots, any new stash? It was exciting. So that would be the big thing for me is that if you could just make a small donation, and if you've got any pictures of Dan, a favourite photo, if you were lucky to have your picture taken with him or in a moment or whatever it may be, or even if it was just a picture of you taking part in the event, please post it on the Facebook page. Please post it on your Twitter with your hashtag on there. And it's just a fantastic way of celebrating what a champion fella this guy was, raise some money for a great cause, but also as well for his mum, his dad, Heather, all his friends. What a fantastic chance to maybe see a few photos we haven't seen before.
It's a brilliant idea, and let's hope we'll get a few people, not all together, of course, but in their own time, wandering around Bolton Hall. Indeed, I know the law family will be.
Well, I'm really interested to know. I know quite a lot of his friends from the Cheshire days have said that they're going to be out there wearing the Cheshire kit and with a hat on, out of respect for Dan, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of cricketers out there. I saw Jimmy Warrington had put online the other day, very fine bowler from Nantwich in Cheshire. He'll be out there in his whites, and I'd love to see as many as possible out there wearing the whites, being the first day of the season.
Fantastic. Juniors, ladies, seniors, whoever you are, Bolton Hall here, please do that. We're going to be doing it. And Lee, we'll look forward to some photographs there, won't we? Yeah,
and hopefully, obviously, when we speak next time, Jim, it'd be great to see. So I'm sure there'll be some interesting outfits and there'll be some interesting times, and hopefully as many people get involved as possible.
Absolutely. Okay, Lee. Well, of course, this is a difficult time for you in particular, because I know what you're like. I think most people know what you're like when it comes to your cricket. You live and breathe it. I think we can safely say that. This time of year, as you just said, with Dan as well, of course, was his favourite day of the year. It's not far off your favourite day of the year either, I guess. What on earth do you do?
I'll be honest with you. I had Rick Moore text me at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday, which would have been our pre-season friendly, just to tell me we should have been out there then. And then he texted me an hour later to tell me that we should be going the ground now. look, I'm one of thousands of cricketers out there. Whatever standard you play, it is a life choice. It consumes you, and at the moment it's been really tough. We've watched a lot of reruns on the telly. I think the tough thing, Jim, is the fact is that it was just at that point in pre-season where you've been at it for 6 or 7 weeks. You're just starting to feel good. Your new bat from Christmas is just starting to sound right, and you're really getting into it. And everyone was ramped up, ready to go, excited about a new season. And at the moment, it's of course, it's important to stay safe, and it's the bigger picture. But inside, every cricketer's got to be honest in saying that it's just a disaster, and the fact that you can't play is just awful.
It must be. It must be. Is there anything you can do? I mean, Alex Money's been posting some tips on the Chester website for the youngsters, but is there anything you can do at home?
Well, I think the thing is that at the moment, I think a lot of it is to do with obviously your own mental well-being and your own physical well-being. So, as obviously getting out, being active. For me, the way I get around it is I've got my bat and my gloves in the house. Put them on every few hours. Just have a wander around the house, go and have a little tap in the garden. I did see Alex's drills on the website. Thoroughly enjoyed them. Didn't really fancy skimming the ball off the garden table, but certainly had to go with the sock one. I thought that was really good, and I'm sure there'll be more to come from Al. And I think that's the thing, is it's just trying to keep busy, be ready. And the beauty is now is that because no one really knows what's going on, I've been on the phone to several different people via text, call. Nick Anderson from Didsbury the other day, we spent 45 minutes just trying to work out what we could make up as a form of a competition if we had 8 or 10 weeks to play in the season. You just got to dream, I guess.
What could that look like, Lee, if it came to fruition?
I think it's a really interesting one because obviously certain clubs want certain things. The league may come out and say, well, it's friendlies, or if we had 11 weeks, it'd be perfect. We could play a half season. That's great. I think, a lot of the cup competitions either may get scrapped or maybe adapted. But I think the thing is, it's just making sure that if we do get an 8-week window, an 11-week window, a 6-week window, it doesn't really matter. It's that we can get out there, put a little bit of, a bit of fun to it.
Yes.
It may just be a few clubs get together and put something together. It may be the league structures something, whatever it may be. But I think it's going to be really important for the local community. Let's be honest, there's people who sit around the boundary. You look at Tom Wyatt, his mum and his nan sit there every week watching the game. They're probably sat at home going, what are we doing here? There's people who walk the ground. I know your wife Glenda, every match day she's there walking the dogs around the ground. People are used to being part of whatever, club they're at. And I think at the moment, we've seen Dave Maddox. Dave Maddox at the moment is like Khashoggi. He's walking around around Chester doing six miles a day. Now, Dave is, normally, a fine supporter of the bar here at Chester and every team that plays, and Chester Rugby Club. So it'd be really interesting to see if people, feedback in what are they doing at home at the moment.
Very, very good question. And to put you on the spot, let's say that we get some cricket July time. So you have July, August, maybe a bit of September then, I suppose. What would you do, Lee?
Me personally, I would absolutely love to see us kind of semi-adapt what we're doing. Definitely play win-lose between now and the end of the season. Get the coloured kits out, have some fun, get as many people to the games as possible. Maybe even tie it in with a little T20 competition as well, and do it in a way where you get some sort of points tally together where basically the top 4 teams go to a finals weekend and have some fun with it, because we're never going to get this opportunity again, a touch wood. So we could be really, really inventive. The only thing that worries me is that we turn around and go, well, there's only 10 weeks left in the year. Let's just play friendlies, because as much as everyone loves cricket, and I played friendly cricket for many years growing up at Upton. For a lot of the guys, it's a competition that, there's only so many jogs you can go on. There's only so many bike rides you can go on. So let's get out there and just be, show some initiative and get out there and make it as fun as possible and get as many people down to the ground. Obviously socially distanced. It depends what it is or not. But I just think you've got to have some fun with it.
So something competitive. You've got Sundays as well, of course. So maybe a little bit of extra time, even if you played a friendly on a Sunday, perhaps.
Well, I think the thing is that obviously I'm talking from a first team perspective here, but I know for a fact that there's people who play on back pitches, play Sunday cricket. They'll all be wanting to get their fix. The women's team, the juniors. So I think we've just got to be as pragmatic as possible and get as much cricket on the grounds as we can in that time. So night games, use the AstroTurfs, just work together as much as we can so people can enjoy the cricket. And you know what? Get the club bouncing for 8-10 weeks before the football season kicks off again.
Absolutely. Well, we'll keep listeners posted, obviously, as we hear from the league. I think it's fair to say that our league can be quite proactive at times. They're obviously taking their lead from the ECB. So, Lee, let's just hope that whatever comes out, if anything comes out, is good news for us.
Well, I really do hope so. The only slight irony is that for all the bowlers who were excited about the fact that the Duke's ball has been added to the league this year, as a batter, 8 to 10 weeks of white ball cricket wouldn't be the end of the world.
And of course, the weather isn't going to be very good over the next week or so, is it? Because it always rains at the start of the cricket season. So, all right, Lee. One of the things that we thought we might do is ask our listeners if there's any kind of quirky cricketing top 10. And just to start us off. Here's one that we've come up with here, but I'm just going to run past you, Lee, see what you think, and hopefully we'll get a couple of these in from some of our listeners. So this is a dog top 10 based on Chester Boughton Hall players, mainly present, but a couple past as well, not too far past. You're the captain, you'll be pleased to know, Lee Dixon, of course.
Oh, thank you.
In fact, you're opening the batsman with Collie Law, which would seem appropriate. Number 3 would be Mutt Griffiths. Luke Ramsey's dad. Remember Luke Ramsey's dad? Still around as a member?
I do, yeah.
Pug Ramsey, he'll be there. We need our good lady leader in there as well. So Di Scotty can come in the middle order. I think there's probably space for Dalmatian Curtis as well. He'll sneak into the list. And our old South African friend, Husky Miller, perhaps there's space for him as well. Alongside the outgoing third-team captain, who is, of course, Dane Fisher. Your old friend, who could hit a ball a long, long way, Jordan Bark. He'll sneak in the team. And then, of course, Jack Russell Williams. Who could forget our little erstwhile leg spinner? Finally, in the 11, vice captain, I suggest to you, Lee. What about Spaniel Riley? Room for him, do you think?
Always room.
Always
room for the Spaniel.
And 12th man could be Dave Maddock, I suppose, or even Simon Walkies from the juniors. So there you go. That's our dog top 10. Have to be careful how we say that top 10, 11. Any ideas? I'm sure you can do better than that. Then, of course, let us know. So, Lee, before we wrap up our first podcast here, I've had a little look about what's going to be happening over the next few weeks or so. Not a lot on the cricket front, obviously, but we've got a few quizzes and bits and pieces lined up.
Yeah, definitely. Last week, obviously, Dave Kaloran, Harry Kaloran with Jack Williams, Jim Gilson in the background, pushed out the quiz on the Saturday, 5 o'clock. There's another one this Saturday, 5 o'clock. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. There was over 90 teams took part, which really does show kind of how many people from both clubs, the Nomads and the cricket section, love to get behind things. I know there's going to be a few little amendments. We're going to be looking at improving the streaming, maybe a little bit how we do the questions, kind of get some mark sheets going and stuff like that. So it's going to be a massive improvement. It was great to see all those pictures come in from different members, different areas of the club with all the silly items and stuff like that. I thought it was fantastic. And obviously, here no one tells a pun or a silly joke like Dave Kaloran.
Or dresses up and looks like Elvis Presley.
Well, I think I'm hoping that is the case. Obviously, the fact that we had to get Joe in for some halftime entertainment, I think if we could maybe get some videos or some other members maybe passing in some halftime entertainment to fill the gap, that'd be fantastic. I think the other one to look forward to, obviously, the website at the moment, you're getting a real eclectic mix as the webmaster. I'm sure a few of the people that are sending you stuff now maybe don't normally send you stuff. They've got a lot of time on their hands. I've seen a few teammate sections. I'm sure you've had some fun editing them, Jim.
Yes, most of them are clean so far, which is a good thing. More to come, I think, aren't there, of those?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some stuff, definitely. We've had a couple of Zoom calls with the first team, and there's a million WhatsApp groups going around at the moment. We're all trying our best to get as much stuff going on for, I know Alex Money at the moment, we're actually looking at a colouring competition, which is coming quite shortly to you, Jim, for the website to design the new one-day kit. So that's something to look out for. Also, some bat sticker ideas, and we're going to see if we can get the winners' bat stickers made as well. So they're just going to be some fun things. I was going to say for the kids, but I'm pretty sure if it was personalised bat stickers, I'm pretty sure you've got a son by the name of Oliver who would spend all day colouring in bat stickers if he thought he'd get them to be done.
I think you're right. Brilliant. Okay, so the quiz next week. We've got the virtual bar as well. We should just mention if you fancy a drink and you want to make a donation to the club, please have a look at that on the website. Enjoy the quiz next week. Dan's run, of course, Lee, on Saturday. We're putting our whites on and wandering around or lolloping around, I guess it's fair to say. All right.
Yeah, look, just on Dan's run, it's kind of a plea from me. If you can get out there and take part, I'd really appreciate it. The club have been fantastic with my personal challenge, but if you could get out there, support Heather, support the family, and to all you Cheshire cricketers out there, you've all played against him. He's a brilliant bloke. Let's get together, let's enjoy the first day of the season, and let's get behind it.
That's a great note to end the first full toss on, Lee. Thanks very much. We'll be back again.
Cheers, Jim.
Cheers.
Bye.